How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Bochum Career Mode. This is episode number 33, and we're getting into today's episode with three exciting games. We take on RB Leipzig to start the episode off with, then we take on, I believe it's Hoffenheim towards the end, and in the middle we have got a derby match against Schalke. So, some interesting games we've got on today. You'll see in the background we've got some youth scouting reports. Not a lot of great players coming up in these reports at the moment. Ivory Coast got some interesting players, I suppose, and Germany we've got one decent player in that report, but if I'm being honest, we'll wait until the end of all the reports to actually sign these players, unless we get like a ridiculously good player. But yeah, you can see there in the background just also who we've got coming up in this calendar month. 5 games in October, 1 cup match against Werder Bremen, and you'll see those 2 games at the end of the month in the next episode. So heading into the first game against RB Leipzig, we went with a 5 at the back formation. I was going a bit defensive because Leipzig were unbeaten in the league and had conceded about, I think, 5 or 6 goals. So I was just wanting to be as defensive as possible. Sadly for us, Leipzig were sort of sporting the same formation. I'm not really sure that really matters, as Leipzig have got the much better players, the likes of Mats Hummels, John Anthony Brooks, Luis Alberto. There are some very good, high-rated players in that team. So, if I'm being honest, Leipzig had the better side and could have probably gone with any formation, and they would have had a higher chance of beating us. Didn't take long for Leipzig to get the first chance of the game, and they actually had the second chance as well, as they go ahead and score. Alexander Mitrovic is the man that gets the scoring underway, as the away side, they just were much better than us. Straight away from kick-off, Leipzig were playing much better football. They were just passing it around much better. And clearly Mitrovic showed from just poor play by us, poor defending, and in the end it was a decent finish by Mitrovic. You can see here from the throw-in just some nice passing play, absolutely fantastic. And as Mina takes out Kim Jin-yar, Luis Alberto meets the ball in the middle from a fantastic cross, and he does go ahead and make it Leipzig 2, Bochum 0. And again, it's not great defending, but actually there's not a lot I could do. That passing play was fantastic. Taking Kim Jin-yar out was just a great bit of play. And then Luis Alberto, a really, really great cross into the box. There's not much I can do. It was hit in the sweet spot, right in between the 2 defenders. And sadly for us, Leipzig go ahead and score. And they were the better side in that first half. Going into the second half, we did get the first chance as Promel gets the ball, takes a shot, and luckily for Leipzig, Golatsky, the Hungarian goalkeeper, goes ahead and makes a decent save. And from not a corner, I was going to say corner there, from a free kick, we give the ball away straight away, and Sanabria was basically through. Eisvelt goes ahead and takes him out, and because he was the last man, does get sent off. It was just more out of frustration there. I was so angry that I'd passed the ball out, not got it to the man that I wanted it to, and yeah, it was poor. It was a red card, and there's not much else I can say about that. He will be missing the next game against Schalke, so we will be out without our captain for the next game. Again, after we went 1 man down, we were already losing pretty poorly in the first half and for a majority of the second half with 11 men. With 10 men, it was even worse, and you can see here, Leipzig pretty much dominated for the rest of the game. They were already 2 goals up, so there was no real pressure for them to get another goal. However, Campbell would make sure they definitely got the victory, as in the 83rd minute, he does go ahead and net it into the bottom corner as the number 44 goes ahead and makes it 3-0. 4th goal for him in the Bundesliga from centre mid. That's not bad, considering I think it's only 7 games in the league, so not too bad for him, as he gets 4 goals. We did have a chance to sign him on a free. I did think it was a bit unrealistic, as he was playing, a majority of his games for Leipzig. And there you go. You can see it was quite clear that he probably wasn't going to leave, and it wasn't realistic. So I'm glad I didn't sign him. But Campbell does go ahead and make it 3-0. And Rossi made it 3-1 with a very nice chip. I did just go ahead and skip the replay, more out of reflex than anything else. But Rossi scored a very nice chip at the end. Didn't mean much. It just meant our goal difference was down by -2 instead of -3. So sadly for us, that is how the game ended. Just poor. It was really poor. I did try and switch it up, go with a 3 at the back, but it just made no difference. And if I'm being honest, it was poor display by me. I'll hold my hands up and say it was just really, really poor, and there's not much else I can say about that. You saw that Ajaria did get an injury in that game. He picked up a 3-week injury. He will be back just before the end of the next game because we had quite a long break in between. the game against Leipzig and the game against Schalke. He wouldn't start, though, as he wasn't quite fit enough to be starting, not even on the bench, actually. So Ajaria will have to wait to get his return back from injury, although it's only been one game. And we actually headed to the Veltins Arena, one of the very few stadiums in the Bundesliga that actually exist in the game. And yes, I was a little bit nervous. This was a derby match, pretty much. Schalke not too far away from Bochum in real life in terms of being just down the road. It's a relatively interesting rivalry. Both play in blue. I did go ahead and put on our white kit, as there wasn't much difference between us playing in blue and white, apart from the fact that obviously Schalke's home kit is in blue. You can see there the team we played, it was pretty much back to normal 4-3-3, and I was just trying to anything to not get a loss in this game. And if I'm being honest again, it showed that Schalke had the quality, as Rahman there gets past one man, plays it inside, and then number 7 there goes ahead and puts it in the back of the net, and they go ahead and make it 1-0 in the 13th minute. First chance of the game, and Schalke were pretty much fully deserving of it. If I'm being honest, they passed it around very nice for the first 10 minutes of the game, and yeah, they totally deserve that, and there's not much you can say. I know it's a rivalry match, but we just weren't quite on it, and I was just fully expecting to not lose by an embarrassing amount. It was more just to try and not concede like 7 or 8 goals. It was more to keep it respectable, maybe try and sort of hold out for a draw or something. Sadly for us, it was just more chances for Schalke in the first half. Ball whipped in, and Miranchuk came close to getting a second goal in the first half. Really poor first half display by us. Really, really poor. 38% possession, no shots on target. It was absolutely dreadful. Luckily for us, in the second half, something happened, and Viktor Olkowski and Gonvula managed to link up and get it back to 1-1. A really nice ball in by Olkowski. He is becoming one of our main sort of free kick takers and set piece specialists. If I'm being honest, he has the better stats of anybody in our team, and you can see there he does link up nicely with Silver as he goes ahead and gets his 4th goal of the season. Olkowski again at the heart of our attacks pretty much in a lot of these games, and he does go ahead and get himself a penalty. Draws the foul from Mendes, and means that the man, I believe he's a CDM, Thiago Mendes, the former Lyon man, goes ahead and gives away a penalty in the 76th minute and gives us a chance to put us in front of the game. It would be Rossi that stepped up, and I was a little bit hesitant, as it was normally Gonvula that took these. Sadly for Rossi, he actually had it was a decent penalty. It just hit the crossbar, and it would mean that we would continue to be 1-1. And actually, pretty much from the counter-attack from that, they passed it around a little bit, cut out a little bit of the extra play, and Schalke would go ahead and score from the following attack, as in the 81st minute. Miranchuk, who looked dangerous in the first half, would go ahead and score in the second half, and mean that Schalke would go home with the 3 points from this game. I thought we could maybe hold out for just the draw. I was happy with that. And when we got the penalty, I was sort of excited we may even get a chance to somehow scavenge a win from this and beat our rivals. And sadly for us, Schalke fully deserved the win and got the win in the end. Just actually see from the match facts, towards the end, we had a few other little chances. I didn't show all of them. A lot of them were shots outside the box. But Viktor Olkowski does go ahead and get man of the match as well. But as I said, Schalke fully deserving of that. They didn't have as many chances in the second half, but honestly, from the first half display, Schalke probably deserved to edge that. And we go home with another loss. It was away from home, so it wasn't like I was expecting to get the win in that, but it was away from home, and I think it's another loss on the board. And as we go back to the Ruhrstadion, we did go ahead and face Hoffenheim at home. So another team in blue. There's a lot of teams in Germany that do play in blue, so it does make selecting the kits a little bit challenging. Luckily for us, a lot of the Bundesliga sides have 3rd kits, and we would have to face Hoffenheim. I believe they were facing us in there. It was sort of like a darker black kit. It was quite a nice away kit, or 3rd kit that they were having to play in. Very nice. And again, Hoffenheim were much better than us in this game. Spoiler, we are not exactly the greatest side in the Bundesliga this season, but my God, Hoffenheim just took us to the sword in the first half. They were absolutely fantastic. Chance with Redmond playing on that side. He was just breaking down Kim Jin-yar time after time. And you can see there Redmond again at the heart of this attack. Nice bit of blocking from Leitch, but he just got it back, Redmond. And eventually the ball is played in to Thomas Partey, who makes a nice run in behind the back of the defence. And the ball would be put in, and Laborde, I'm not sure who he is, but he does go ahead and take the shot. And sadly, for Hoffenheim, his second shot would hit the bar there. Another penalty, and another penalty drawn from Viktor Olkowski. He is becoming a very decent player, only 18 years of age, Viktor Olkowski, but he is causing havoc to the defences in the Bundesliga and forcing another player to take him down in the box. And it would be another penalty for us and another chance for us to sort of nick something just before the end of the first half. It would be Rossi that steps up again. He missed the last penalty against Schalke. He has a chance to hopefully get one back here and score in the first half here. Sadly for us, he just goes ahead and skies it. And my God, I wasn't angry because, again, I do believe in sort of confidence and just players gaining their confidence back a little bit. You can see from the match facts, 3 shots, 0 on target. That's poor. Really poor from us. And Hoffenheim fully deserving something in the second half if they were to at least capitalise on some of their chances. Just going back to the Rossi penalty, I don't believe in taking players off the penalties. If he steps up for the penalty, then I think he should take it. And, you know, if he misses a couple of penalties, eventually I'll take him off the penalties. You know, if he misses 5 or 6 penalties, I'm not going to keep him on it. But we'll have to see how Rossi does. I just want him to get his confidence back. He's not quite been that good this season, so I'm hoping he sort of gets back into the swing of things, gets a couple more goals, and his confidence will come straight back. Sadly for us in the second half, as I said, Hoffenheim, they were a team that just continued to dominate, and actually in the 62nd minute, it would be Hoffenheim that go ahead and get the goal to put them ahead. Sometimes it is a case that teams just don't always play as well in the second half. Sadly for us, Hoffenheim just continued their dominance, and we did get one final chance to maybe get something back from this game as the ball's whipped in by Olkowski and Gonvula. Well, he should have done a little bit better with that header, if I'm being honest. Shouldn't have been headed straight at the goalkeeper, but not much I can do. I'm not expecting us to just always pull something back right at the end of the game, and it would be us that sort of were made to be disappointed by the chances we had and just the really poor defensive display in terms of that goal that Hoffenheim scored. We could have probably prevented it. We put in a decent defensive display in the first half. In the second half, we maybe should have shut up shop a little bit better, but there's not much I can do about that. We'll have to see how we do in the next episode. I do hope you enjoy watching. Do leave a like if you want to see more of this career mode content, and don't forget to subscribe for more career mode content as well. And I'll see you for the next episode of the Bochum career mode very soon. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.